Hi, and welcome to the Fierce Boys podcast. I'm your host, Brigette Gildemaster. This is a podcast for those who are ready to leave behind survival mode after abuse, where we talk about what it looks like to embody who you are as an individual, learn to love yourself, and bring to light healing after surviving abuse from relationships and religion. Pop your earbuds in to hear heartfelt and powerful intensity from myself and guests. Be ready to put into place actual tools and gather insight for you to use on your healing journey. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Fierce Boys podcast. Today, I am your solo host, Brigette Gildemaster. So, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I have gotten many messages this week on just some guests that we've had and how they have impacted and empowered other people. And it just warms my heart every time because I can't get over how much we all go through the same things. And even though it all looks different, we all feel the same things. We all are just processing the same ways and able to help each other by just sharing our stories. And I just thank you for sharing that with me, that it is helpful. It's so encouraging to just keep going and to take the time to make sure these stories are amplified. And so I appreciate that. And I appreciate you tuning in today. Today, I want to talk about, this will be a brief episode, but I want to talk about surviving in the winter and seasonal depression and just a little bit of encouragement. I don't know that I have a whole lot of wisdom to share, but just some camaraderie in that and recognizing that you're not alone and it's real, and maybe a few things to help combat it a little bit. And obviously, if you're in a really bad place, please seek help. Obviously, beyond what this podcast has to offer, this is just my story and help for very mild um, depression and anxiety. But if you are in a really dark place, or needing any more help beyond that, please seek out and reach out to a friend or someone you trust, or professional help, and get it, because you're worth it. So I just want to share a little bit. I live obviously in a very northern state, and we deal with so much, especially in these spring months, of one day it's sunny and 75, and the next day we're dealing with 10 inches of snow and freezing on the ground. And it just really takes a toll on me. I really would love to relocate to a warmer place at some point in my life. I can really just tell how much the seasons affect me, especially as I've been on this healing journey. More times than not, I have my worst depression, I have my worst anxiety, um, and just hope for the future in the winter time. And especially after the holidays, I know for survivors, the holidays are really hard. If you've been impacted by family or certain events over the holidays, as narcissistic, toxic people like to do, they love to ruin those events. But for me, it's really after the holidays, in, these January through March months, where, there's not a whole lot to look forward to except summer and spring. So all you're thinking about is sunshine and that amazing vitamin D. But um, there's also no holidays, no events really. One of my daughter's birthdays is in February, but beyond that, we're not doing a whole lot or planning for a whole lot. And then when you have the weather changes like we do here, I think it just really amplifies it, and it plays with my mind. And if you've ever gone through a lot of gaslighting in your past, I think it's also a huge factor, because you're still on your healing journey. You're getting so used to a reality you can depend on and count on, and creating that for yourself. And it's totally possible. But then one day you're wearing sandals to work and the next day you're in snow up to your ankles, just really wishing the dog would pee really fast. And so it still messes with your mind. And when you're used and when you're trying to pull yourself out of that and create a solid foundation for your nervous system, and the weather throws those loopholes at you, or those not loopholes, but a loop, or yeah, a loop at you, it can really mess with you on your healing journey. So not only are you going through this time of winter and feeling like you want to just be cozy and sleep, because trust me, you're not crazy for just wanting to sleep all the time either after going through a traumatic event. That's the body's way of processing and healing. But you have to get up and go to work, and then on top of that, and you just want to be snuggled and cozied in while there's 10 inches of snow outside. But on top of that, you get these teases of summer and spring, and you get excited just to only be back in your winter coat the next day. And I think it really, really messes with us. And as survivors, I think there's, especially when you're deep in the trenches of healing post um separation or leaving or divorce, and just on that healing journey, however far out that looks for every individual, that's always all different. It can really hit hard. And I just want you to know you're not alone. It's really hard for me. I am a person, I do love seasons, which is why I do struggle moving, or thinking of moving somewhere where there's more sunshine. And I definitely struggle with um a time where uh there is 100 degrees outside. I don't like the heat that much either. But I love the seasons as well. I love the change. I love spring. I love fall. I love those times. And so I love it. But then I do look forward to summer so much, and just a time of consistency, knowing what your wardrobe will be, not that you have to worry about driving in the weather or other drivers in the weather and things like that. And so I just want you to know you're not alone in that. And it's a very real thing to be in this springtime phase if you're in a northern state where you're on a roller coaster with the weather. And there's so much in nature that is affected by us. And if you are ever curious about learning about that, I'm sure I'll have episodes coming up on that as well. But where nature we're so affected by nature. Obviously, we are nature, and we are human. And from the moon cycles, new moon phases and full moon phases, and all of that is affecting our healing journey. And so those are definitely things to look into. Sometimes when you're waking up and you don't know why you're feeling what you're feeling, can totally be related to a moon where you need to release things and hold on, and let go of things and not hold on to them, and go on adventures and all of that. And the weather's the same. We need sunshine and light and nourishment, just like the plants do. We can't live in winter all of the time. And so when we have these prolonged periods of that, it gets really draining really fast, and you just need that extra nourishment to come. And so I just want to encourage you that, you know, it's real, and you're not alone, and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Whether that is, sitting with your intuition and finding out what you need for you. Maybe, you need to fight it and keep yourself busy and active until sunshine does come, and you can do all the more, go hiking and be outside in the park and meditate in the grass. Or maybe it's a time to face some things for you. Maybe it's a time to say, I'm feeling this way and I need to sit with it and face that, instead of running away from it, hoping for better days. So that when those better days do come, when sunshine is here, we can already have released so much and had faced it, and versus burying it or running from it, and be able to actually enjoy summer and not continually be running or bearing those feelings, or the past events that have happened to us. So just some encouragement to do that, to use this time to find out what you need. And it does get better. It does get better on your healing journey. I think right now I am struggling because we've had a very mild winter here. So I've been very spoiled with very little snow, lots of sunshine. And then these spring storms have hit, and it's like, no, 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 winter was over. And that's not the case. These spring storms could last for a while, and I hope they do. We need moisture, but it is hard when I am just so ready to be on adventures and hiking and taking my kids on all the things we want to do and going forward. And yet it's still an amazing time to prepare and to get on top of life, as I'm reminding myself with the pile of dishes in the sink. It's snowing outside, and it's a perfect time to do the dishes and get caught up so that we can play this summer. Um, it's a perfect time. I've been scheduling out some, social media for you all and these podcasts and doing recording, which is something I don't want to do in the summer. I want to make sure I do have the time I can have to, over my lunch breaks, go on in my own personal adventures without my kids, and then spend our weekends together as well. And so it is rough, it is hard, but figure out what you need for you, and admitting that this kind of sucks right now is one of the first steps. But why does it suck? And let's figure out what you need to do to get through it in a healthy way, and but not by ignoring emotions, feelings, past events, but by either facing them, or if it is just seasonal, let down from the weather, figuring out nutritionally what you need and how to keep your body going forward until summer does get here. So, like I said, this episode is short and sweet. I don't have a ton to say on this, but that I felt someone needed to hear that this time of year is real, and I get you. And if you ever want to hit me up in my DMs, I'd love to have a conversation and vent about Mother Nature and her cruel tricks sometimes. So I hope this finds you well. As always, you are amazing. You are worthy of it. No one can tell you different. Don't let anyone ever let you doubt yourself. Be well. Thank you for joining us today on the Fierce Voice podcast. I truly hope you found healing insight, tools, and a space held for you in this journey. We are all in this together, and you are not alone. You can find me, your host, Brigette Gildemaster, on all social media platforms, and check out my website at www.brigittegildemaster.com, where you can listen to past Fierce Voice episodes, check out my media features, find my books, and inquire about booking me for your next virtual or in-person event. My keynotes are impactful with real-life stories, actionable tools, and inspiration for healing after a life-altering experience. Or check out my workshop event to learn more about how you can prevent abuse in your area. Have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you next time on the Fierce Voice Podcast.